It's June 28th, 2019, and I am sitting here at the Excalibur pool. It is around 6:45, and one thing about this pool is that they close it at 7, and they have an adults-only pool time, but it does cost $5 extra unless you have purchased a rental of one of these cushioned chairs or a cabana. Then you get to stay till 8. If not, it's $5 per person. But we're sitting here and we're having a great time. In terms of the 3 different pools though, the Excalibur, the MGM Grand, and the Bellagio, I would say in terms of for kids, I would say this one is a great one. It's got a water slide, it's got like 3 different pools, 3 different hot tubs, really fun for the kids. Second choice would be MGM Grand because they've got the lazy river and that's amazing. My last favorite pool of the 3 places would be the Bellagio. It's a very nice pool, but it's just a pool. It's just, you know, but I must say that their seats, their pool chairs are very comfy. They're cushioned, whereas the other 2 hotels you have to purchase or you have to rent the chair to get a cushion. But in terms of the Excalibur, definitely like thumbs up. Okay, now let's talk about the beds. I would actually say the beds in all 3 hotels were very much similar. I wouldn't say that there was much difference. Definitely not enough to make it a deal breaker or a reason to choose one hotel over the other. The Bellagio is the most expensive of the 3 places we stayed, so I suppose that the thread count was maybe a little higher, but to be honest, it really didn't make a huge amount of difference. Not a big deal for us. So beds, not a big factor. Okay, service in all 3 hotels has been just amazing. The people here are just fantastic. If you ever have any questions, there is 0 difference in terms of like the service. Last couple more things. Let's see. Okay, first thing, I would say definitely get involved in the M Life program. That you can just go on any of the websites and look for the M Life, and then you can save a ton. Once you hit gold membership, you get free valet, you get 10% off of different things, you can earn points. It's really amazing. The buffets, okay, the buffets. We got free buffets with our deal, and I would definitely suggest look for a deal. Once you sign up for the M Life program, you'll start getting emails, and in the emails they'll offer maybe like hotels that have like a free buffets or like a food credit. So the buffets. So we'll start with the very first hotel that we stayed at, which was the MGM Grand. We stayed there for 2. Every hotel we stayed at for 2 nights. The MGM Grand buffet was very good. I don't think that if you weren't getting it for free, I don't know. It's about, you know, $25 to $35, depending if you're getting breakfast, brunch, or dinner. I don't know necessarily if it's totally worth it if you weren't getting it for free or a really big discount, because it's just sort of a lot of food. It's not like spectacular food in general. Bellagio, that was the second place we stayed at. Bellagio food I felt was a little bit higher quality, but more expensive. The buffet is more expensive. In terms of whether it'd be worth it if you were paying like retail, you know, I guess it depends how big your appetite is. If you could eat a lot, then it might be a really great deal. Check the prices because they do vary. One thing I would suggest is their lunch usually starts at 11 o'clock. So if you go right before 11, you could get the breakfast price, but you get the lunch food. And I think the dinner starts around 3. So if you go right before 3, you can get the dinner food, but for the brunch or lunch price. Some of the hotels call it brunch, some of it call it lunch, but there's always a breakfast, a brunch, and a dinner, or a breakfast, lunch, and a dinner. So if you go just before it's time, then you can get the next meal. But in terms of the food, Bellagio food was very good. The Excalibur, pleasantly surprised. The Excalibur was the cheapest hotel that we stayed at. It was cheap enough to where we could actually book 2 rooms, one for my husband and I and one for my 2 adult daughters, and so that was great. So that means we got 4 free buffets because we got a package that had the room plus 2 buffets per day. I would actually say that this is probably my favorite buffet. So even though this is the cheapest, it is, in my opinion, it's actually the best. And the breakfast, they gave free mimosas. All the other places you would have had to pay. So those are the primary things in terms of overall. So we stayed, once again, the Bellagio, MGM Grand, and Excalibur. If I had to stay at one of the places again, for the price, it really depends on your budget. Excalibur is a great option. Excalibur, it's definitely the lower end of the three. There was a little bit of a smell to the room that I definitely noticed right off the bat. The decor wasn't quite as nice as like the Bellagio. I mean, going from the Bellagio to the Excalibur, it's definitely kind of a downgrade, to be honest. But the Bellagio was the most expensive. The four of us had to share a room. The MGM Grand was the second most expensive, but it was cheap enough to where I was able to get 2 rooms. And so for the same price, so I got 2 rooms at the MGM Grand for the same price as I paid for 1 room at the Bellagio. The Excalibur is the cheapest. I got 2 rooms for the cheapest price. And so that was really nice, but the rooms are definitely a little bit lesser than the MGM Grand and the Bellagio, but not really bad. I think the number one thing I noticed was just because I'd gone from the Bellagio, which is the top, to the Excalibur, I definitely noticed that there was a little bit of a quality difference. And I did notice that there was, like I said, there was a little bit of a smell to the room that I really noticed, and I didn't notice any smells at all at the MGM Grand or the Bellagio. My family is just right over there, right on the edge of the pool. It's a beautiful day in Las Vegas. It's probably, I would guess it's only around 95 right now, and it's a bit windy, but it's really gorgeous. And I really recommend, if you're going to stay here, I would recommend trying to book early and then going back and checking the prices. Just always check to see if you can get a better price, because the prices are changing constantly. I actually rebooked. So the way that we did our vacation is we knew we wanted to be here for about a week. I booked the Bellagio for 2 nights and the MGM Grand for 2 nights because I knew we were going to go see the Ka show, which is at the MGM Grand, which was amazing. Thumbs up. Totally great show. We also, I knew we wanted to come to Excalibur because for my husband's birthday, we had bought tickets for it's called Tournament of Kings. It's kind of like in medieval times where they have like it's like a dinner show where they have like the knights and the different the knights of the round table, and they've got the horses, and they feed you like with no silverware. You get like a Cornish game hen and like potato and a biscuit, and so it's all part of the show, and that was amazing. And that they have that here at the Excalibur, and so we had come here while we were staying at the MGM Grand just to make sure that we could book that all right, and we liked it so much we decided to come back and stay because there's a very different feeling in all 3 hotels. And once you're here, definitely go explore. From the Excalibur, you can easily get to the Luxor and Mandalay Bay with no problem. There's literally like a walking path that just takes you right there. When you're at the MGM Grand, you can get to the Tropicana and you can get to the New York. New York looks. We went there last night and we rode the kids rode the roller coaster. It was amazing. I think when we were to come back here, we might stay at the New York because it was really a blast. So anyway, I hope that helped. But let me just say, my last thought is, if you're on a budget, Excalibur is a great option. If you're not really too much worried about the cost, I would actually kind of recommend the MGM Grand. The Bellagio was great. It does have the fountains. We paid extra to have a fountain room, so it was lovely to see the fountains doing their show. They have shows, the fountain show every 30 minutes until like 8, and then it's like every 15 minutes. So that was really fun. But if you're on a budget, I mean, you could easily walk down to the Bellagio or drive to the Bellagio. And then once you stay at an MGM Grand hotel, the parking pass works for all of the MGMs, so you don't have to repay for parking. So if you were staying at MGM Grand and wanted to go to the Bellagio and go to a restaurant or go to the O show, don't feel like you have to stay at that hotel. You could just use your key, your room key, because you have to pay $15 per night unless you have the M Life Pearl membership or the Gold membership or higher. Then you can get free parking at the self parking. But it's really a great place. It's fun. We really are having a great time, a lot better. It's our first time in Vegas, and we're actually having more fun than we expected. So it's amazing. We also used the Grand Canyon helicopter tours and went on an amazing tour. Very recommend that. And I guess that's it. So I'm going to sign off. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about any of those hotels or anything else, because I did visit many other hotels, let me know below and I will do my best to answer it. And I hope you have a fantastic vacation in Las Vegas. Bye.